to the dispensary for a 35-year-old male, second and third degree burns on the front part of his body, breathing unconscious.
Rescue 3, copy, we're en route. I was dispatched on a call at a steel mill. Had a gentleman that had been cutting steel coils with a cutting torch. The molten steel splashed up on his coat and caught his coat on fire. The gentlemen that were there with him, they put the fire out for him, threw him into a pickup and took him over to the dispensary. We met the patient there at the dispensary. They had him on a stretcher inside. The patient was pretty hysterical. He was screaming and yelling. He was in a lot of pain, just about more than he could handle. We exposed the burns. He had burns from his waist all the way up. His torso, his chest, arms, neck, head were all burnt. He had second and third degree burns. Majority of them were second degree burns. We had received a recommendation by the state burn center that we carry this burn-free product. They had told us that it would significantly reduce the extent of the burn just because it would draw the heat out of the burn so fast. So we'd been carrying it on the ambulance since that time. We got our burn-free kit out and started applying the large dressings over the burn area. As soon as we covered up the burn with the dressings, it was just instant relief for him. He just kind of sat back and took a big old sigh of relief, and it was just like, you know, he said it was about 90% gone, the pain. So we continued to cover up the burns. We covered up his arms and his neck, and we cut holes in one of the dressings to put over his face so that he could still see and breathe. It was kind of interesting because every time we'd lift up the dressing and the air was exposed to those nerve endings, the pain was back from it. Just, so we had to, we cover it back up again real quick. So then we placed him in the ambulance and transported him up to the local hospital.
Burns are among the most painful and potentially damaging injuries a person can experience. Not only is the skin damaged the instant the injury occurs, but if not properly treated, it will continue to burn and damage sensitive tissue for hours. Using Burnfree can dramatically lessen the pain and trauma of a burn injury. Burnfree products are for first aid use on all types of burns. Burnfree products are cooling and soothing, bacteriostatic, sterile, non-irritating, and are completely water-soluble. The proprietary formulation used in Burnfree gel is designed to provide a stable, cooling, healing environment for all types of burns. Burnfree relieves pain by immediately cooling the burn injury through rapid heat transfer. This stops the burning process and helps minimize the depth and severity of the tissue damage. To demonstrate the amazing cooling properties of the Burnfree gel, a thermostat is heated to over 500 degrees. We then apply a Burnfree blanket. Notice how the temperature begins to fall immediately. Now, watch what happens as the flame is reapplied. The temperature continues to fall as the gel is protecting the area and absorbing the heat.
Well, burns are really one of the more painful injuries that we ever have. The main reason is because there are a lot of nerve endings in the skin. They're there to protect us from harmful things like burns. And these nerve endings are damaged, particularly in partial thickness burns. This is the kind of burn that Burnfree is probably most helpful for. The nerve endings are still alive, they're still active, and they respond to the heat and they respond to exposure to the air. The thing that Burnfree does is that it recovers the area of burn, keeps it from being exposed to the air, and if used immediately can also help cool the burn down. And that's one thing we do know might be helpful in keeping the burn from being a deep burn by cooling it down rapidly. And so Burnfree occludes it from the air and it cools it down rapidly. I've had patients come in, we take the Burnfree off, and we put a standard ointment on, and they say, why can't you put that Burnfree back on? It feels better.
The Burnfree line includes products for every type of burn injury. These are pain-relieving gel, dressings, and fire trauma blankets. These products can be used to reduce the pain and trauma of burns from flames, scalds, chemical, and electrical injuries. The Burnfree pain-relieving gel is ideal for all minor burns. It is the same gel found in the dressings and fire trauma blankets. Burnfree pain-relieving gel is available in either the convenient 4-ounce bottle or the 8-ounce single-dose packets. The gel is meant to be applied liberally to a burn. The single-dose packet is designed to be applied to burns smaller than 1.5 inches in diameter. Gel from the 4-ounce bottle can be applied over larger areas of the body.
I work at an Instacare, and we had a gentleman that came in, he's in his late 30s, who'd been helping his wife cook and put a pot roast into a pan with hot grease, and the grease splashed up on his face. And he had quite a large area on the right side of his face that was burned all in one area, then he had splatters around his eyelids and around the rest of his face. So before the doctor came to look at him, we got the Burnfree and put that on. The largest part was the 4x4 that we put on the right side of his face, I think, and then we just put the gel around on the other parts, on his eyelids, and he had some on his earlobes. So we dressed him up that way. As soon as the doctor came and looked at him, we removed the dressings, then we put the foam dressing back on and then wrapped him with gauze, and immediately after applying that, he had relief from the burning sensation. One of the reasons I became a nurse was being able to help people. That's why I do what I do. Burns are one of the most painful things that we treat, and we've come to a point where we have a product that gives me the ability to give somebody exactly what I need to give them. You know, the comfort, and that gives me a sense of reward and accomplishment, and that's probably the best part of my job, is being able to help somebody, and Burnfree helps me to do that.
Burnfree sterile dressings are designed for use on all types of burns and are conveniently sized to accommodate small to very large burns. The dressings are constructed of a special open-cell foam saturated with the Burnfree gel. Burnfree dressings have several beneficial physical characteristics, such as being able to efficiently cover the burnt area and elastic enough to accommodate possible swelling or the need to flex joints. It is a light, easily transportable sterile dressing. A single application of this dressing is an effective first aid measure on any type of burn. The high absorption capabilities of the foam allows complete and even delivery of the gel to the burn. This provides for the delivery of a substantial amount of cooling gel to the burn site with little or no gel loss from the dressing itself. Burnfree dressings use a non-adherent foam base that will not stick to the wound. Burnfree dressings are available in 3 convenient sizes: 4 by 4 inches, 8 by 8 inches, and 16 by 24 inches.
So it started rolling over the top of our hose pattern, and I could feel the heat coming down across my helmet and across my shoulder, and I could feel a little bit of a burning, but I didn't think that I was in trouble or anything. I took my jacket off, and there was quite a substantial blister here and a lot of redness from a burn. So I put some Burnfree on. We just used this little sterile packets. They come in little 4x4s, and then put it on there, and that's what we use in the field. So anyway, it started to feel like I was not burned that bad, and the blister had popped too. So it had gone a little bit of thickness there. So I removed the patch thinking I'm okay. Well, in a few minutes the pain came back, and so I went back, got another patch, put a nice patch on it, and wrapped it with some gauze to keep it on there, and of course it alleviates the pain immediately. And that's one of the things we like about it. It's, like I said, it comes in a sterile package, and it's one of the few things that the burn center allows us to put on burn patients, and the gel itself will create a barrier to protect the wound and keep the bacteria infection out. So, and then the other big plus is that it stops the pain almost immediately, and that's of course one of the biggest things we can do for our patient.
Burnfree blankets are designed for emergency use as first aid for the largest burns. Burnfree blankets can be used to remove the pain and trauma of wounds from fire, scalding, as well as from chemical and electrical injuries. To illustrate the heat absorption and protection capabilities of the Burnfree fire trauma blanket, we place one on a person's arm. We now apply a 2500-degree flame from a blowtorch. Ordinarily, this amount of heat would burn through the flesh and into the bone in a matter of seconds. Instead, the Burnfree blanket absorbs the heat and continues to protect with no harm whatsoever to the arm. They are available in 8 by 6 foot, 6 by 5 foot, and 36 by 30 inch sizes. No matter where you are, work, home, or on the go, Burnfree is the most effective, soothing, and cooling burn product you can buy. Isn't this the kind of protection you would want? Now you can have it with Burnfree.